marches over the Puget Sound. Berenice's hair drapes the horizon to the air. Where is my lucky star tonight? The seventh sister of the Pleiades walks in beauty like the night. Oh, that is best, dark and now lost to me.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Well, I slipped my tea and it didn't go where it's supposed to go. That's going to be interesting after the show. Anyway, tonight we got a great guest on. We're going to be talking about UFOs. Now, also, what are we going to be talking about tomorrow, James, on the show? Who's our guest?
Well, tomorrow we're going to have Rob Shelsky, and I believe we're going to be talking about Mothman. Now, Rob's been on the show 3-4 times before, and we've covered everything with him from UFOs to abductions to other cryptids. But I believe he's going to talk about Mothman tomorrow, unless I stand corrected.
Yeah. Now, I'm kind of curious. Did you touch your mic gain or something? Maybe that's why you're breaking up. Did you turn it down or something today?
I listen, you know me, if it's not broke, I don't fix it. I don't touch it. I don't touch it at all.
I would try turning it up a little bit, just a hair, because you still are breaking up. Well, anyway.
How about now? Does it sound any better?
Well, I don't know till after we talk for a while. A big shout out to Barb again. She's on the chat. One of the few people that can figure out how to get on the chat. We're going to figure that out and put a instruction manual up on our website for how, I hear it all the time. I get people saying, I can't get on your chat, that it won't let me on. And I'll be honest with you, I even have hard times, getting onto it. But, I do have chat on another app, and we got people out there right now saying, hey, talking about Mothman tomorrow. That's going to be interesting. So, I mean, you know what? It's going to be good. And then on Friday, we're going to be talking about ghost hunting.
Yeah, matter of fact, my buddy Tony Rathman and his wife Sherry is going to be on. And they're very scientific. They do everything kind of like Barry Taft in a way, but only with new age and equipment. So that's going to be good. And yeah, I turned my mic gain up a little bit. Hopefully that helps. I don't know what's going on. You kind of broke up a little bit too there just a few minutes ago, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But anyway, what were you saying before we had to go to break? We were talking about, the zombies and all that stuff, how the brain stem still can function. That's the last thing to go. That your brainstem does give you your motor functions and your hunger functions. And just think, if something would happen, like a virus that kills off part of your brain, then you won't know what's right or what's wrong. You won't know who you are. You won't even recognize people. You just might look at people as a Big Mac walking around and you're hungry all the time.
These are all plausible things we don't know, and they're very kind of scary in a way. And you actually talked a few times in the past about that one guy that didn't he have almost, that's all he had was a brain stem. Wouldn't he have a defect or something, or he lost it in an accident, most of his brain?
No, he was born without a brain. And what I read in the article, the guy was married, he had children, he held a job down. Now, James and Barb and whoever else is out there listening, what his job was, he was a CPA, certified public accountant. He went into the hospital, and then when they did the MRI, they were shocked he had no developed brain. And he's one of the very few people that actually has, well, according to medical science, held a normal job, functioned normally without a developed brain.
That is amazing. That just goes to show you that the humans and the human body and the psyche, it just will adapt and overcome the best that it can. That's an amazing story, because you would think, you know, how would he even have any body functions with your left and right, movements for your arms and all that stuff, which obviously he did.
Well, yeah, but, again, the certain parts of your brain does different things. Now, it's been a proven fact medically, when somebody's gotten hurt, some of their functions, when they were retrained to talk again or, be able to walk, it starts developing in the other side of their brain. Remember, we only use one side of the brain and only a small percentage of the brain.
Right. That's very true. That's why a lot of people, when they have strokes, they have to learn how to do things all over again. So, and this guy didn't. He was missing what he should have had to begin with, and that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, look at that one chicken that time where the farmer cut the head off the chicken, Mike. And Mike lived almost a year. He died, because a corn kernel, stuck in his airway, and he passed on. But this chicken was functionally walking around doing what chickens done without a head, without a brain. Now figure that one out. That don't even have he must have had a little bit. Mike must have had a little bit of a brain stem to be able to do that.
I don't know. I think he lived 18 months. I could be wrong, but I believe it was 18 months he lived after that. But I don't know if they fed him with maybe eyedropper or something. I don't know.
Yeah, tweezers and eyedropper. That's what I read that Mike was fed. But they also surmised that he had a little bit of when the farmer cut the head off, the brain stem was intact. So, I guess the function of walking around was, in his brain stem and, being fed. Well, I don't know if he was hungry. I mean, they just automatically fed him and gave him, liquid down his, what was where his head used to be.
Well, that term, to run around like a chicken with a head cut off came from somewhere, and I guess it came from Mike.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just wondering out there, to the listeners, too, you can certainly get a hold of me, and I'll get back with you by tomorrow at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. That's nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. What do you think about this virus? Do you think the governments are not giving us the whole information of what is going on? Because look at this. They are building a hospital to hold a huge amount of people, and they're trying to build the hospital in less than a week. It tells me that they expect a lot more than they can handle in their even hospitals to handle these people coming with the virus. And I was reading an article. There was people in the hospitals lined up on gurneys dead from the virus.
That's what, and you're right. And that's what I was going to talk about right before the break. With the research I've been doing so far, within just the last few days in the United States, we went from one case in Washington to we're up to probably, I think, 8 to 10 that I know of, and there's going to be more popping up all over there in Texas, Tennessee.
I think it's
they're all popping up everywhere.
Yeah, I think it's around 18, 19 right now.
Right, and they keep exactly, and that's going to keep on growing and growing. And now I'm going to touch on a story here at the top of the hour a little bit about the airports and stuff, but it's going to keep going unless they really put a clamp down. And like the report I reported last night with the lady from Wuhan, the nurse, she was in disguise there, but she was saying that figure is not 17 to 1900 like they're saying. It's like 80, 90,000. That's a lot of people. Yeah,
and just think about that. And then in China, is this going to be infecting? I mean, it's fine. They got cases in Australia, in Vietnam, Korea. Europe. I mean, everywhere it's popping
Norway.
up. Canada, Germany, the UK. And the thing is, hopefully they can confine it. But, again, years ago, it was, about 15 years ago, they had, I can't remember the virus, but that one was caused by monkeys. And when humans, again, eating monkeys and stuff like that, it migrated into humans, and then, it mutated and all that stuff. And that disease was really bad because when you got it, you got sick, and then you started bleeding out of every pore of your body.
Wasn't that the SARS? Was that the one?
No, I don't think it's SARS. It was another one.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, that one, if you, I don't remember which one it was, but I can tell you what I remember is if you got it, there was no cure. You're going to die.
Yeah, it was all bad news. It was just a matter of when and how fast and how much pain you're going to be in. And it kind of reminds me of you're on that conveyor belt like Terry was, and at the end it's waiting for you. And that's got to be very, very mentally stressful. Again,
that disease was caused, people coming in contact eating monkeys.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, there it again. Okay, the monkeys, they survived with the virus in them because it didn't affect them. But when humans started eating the monkey flesh, they came in contact and it mutated in the humans, and then you got the virus, but it did something totally different than what it did to the monkeys. Remember that when it jumps from species to species, it mutates.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And it mutates, and when it does that, it does it to help itself, to live longer, to adapt and overcome and be stronger. So that makes it even harder for us, even with our medicines, to fight it, and even our own bodies to fight it. So it's stacking up against you, and the more it mutates, the stronger it gets. So, it's a battle there. One trying to one up each other with our immune systems and these diseases.
Well, in Canada, a guy, he makes a robot. Now, not a robot that like you saw in Lost in Space or some of these other movies and TV shows. This guy in Vancouver spent 10 years designing a giant four-legged robot. Now, this thing is like the world's largest robot. It's 12 feet tall.
Whoa.
It's like 15 feet wide.
What? That sounds like a tank.
And it has 4 legs. And I tell you, it's really creepy looking, but it's functional.
I haven't seen this yet, but I got a feeling that cost a few $1 million from what you're sounding just by the size of this thing. Now, does it have military applications, or you don't know?
I don't know. The guy built it out of his house.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, maybe he just wanted to create something space-like. I have no idea, but my shout out goes out to this guy in Vancouver. That was just released about an hour ago on UPI. So, I mean, that should be hitting the news. I mean, they got everything now. From robot dolls that look like humans, now they do ones that look like a giant metal spider with 4 legs. Well, the Wienermobile got stopped again. This time in Wisconsin for speeding. Now you're sitting there saying, okay, the Wienermobile, what is that? Well, Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
I seen that picture that had him pulled over there, and he was not driving correctly, so he got a little warning. At least he didn't get a ticket, but that was comical to see that pulled over. I've seen that, that Wienermobile has made the news a couple times within the last few months.
Oh, that Wienermobile has been out on the road for many, many years. Could you imagine the officer? Hey, you were